everyone, welcome back to Inner Rubber Boots. My name is Katrina, and today I want to share another video in my series of gift giving. So this video is for the person who likes to work in the kitchen, and I've broke it down into separate categories because I know that that is quite a broad category. So let's start with ideas for the person who likes to do baking. So the first one is reusable cupcake liners. There's so many cute ones. You could even get disposable ones, really, if you wanted to. Someone who likes to do cupcakes and muffins and that sort of thing will definitely enjoy using these. Now, if it's someone who's just starting out in baking, they might not already own this, and that is an icing bag and all of the tips that go with it. Somebody who's just starting out will enjoy that if they're going to start making cakes or cupcakes or decorating cookies. It's really nice to have and can be expensive, so it's definitely something that is nice to have as a gift. A cake stand can also be a great gift, especially one that comes with the lid that goes over top. Somebody who is maybe starting out or maybe even has one already but would like a second one. On that same note, cupcake storage is perfect as well. They've got these containers that have the cupcake things and the lid for it. This is a great way to take the cupcakes and then makes a great present. If you want a more practical present for a baker, different kinds of chocolate chips, sprinkles, different kinds of extract, food colorings, all of those things can be expensive to buy, super fun to experiment with, and if you buy a lot of that stuff, I am sure the person will do some baking and give you some in return. Another thing that you can never have too many of and tends to also get destroyed with time is cookie trays. Now, I personally love these aluminum ones because they don't darken or like discolor, and they also really cook the food evenly. I know it sounds kind of like it's sort of a cheap thing, but it's actually not. They're actually more expensive. They last really well. And I think that if somebody is baking a lot of cookies or things on trays, they will really, really like these aluminum cookie trays. Now, along those same lines, when you make cookies, it's really handy to have somewhere to set the cookies to cool them down. And these cooling trays can be perfect. When you have ones that stack like this, you don't need a lot of counter space, and it definitely helps you to take out the cookies and put them somewhere without having to have them spread out all over your table and your counter. So maybe this is an obvious one, but cookbooks. I guess in this case it's not a cookbook, it's a baking book. I don't know. But yeah, some ideas. Maybe if they're into making cakes, you could buy them one that's got all different types of ways to, do the icing. Or maybe if they are into gluten-free, you could get them a gluten-free book or something like that. If you can be a little more specific, I think they will definitely enjoy that as a gift. Another awesome gift is these brown sugar savers. I don't know if you bake yourself, but oftentimes brown sugar gets hard with time, and so having something that takes the moisture out is perfect, and oftentimes people don't own them, they just make do, so one of these is perfect. Another fun gift that you can give for somebody who makes different kinds of cookies is cookie cutters. There's so many options you can buy them, all sorts of fun different ones. So you don't really have to worry about them already owning it if you go for something a bit more unique. Now, if you want to go for a big ticket item, and you know them well enough to know that they don't already own this, a KitchenAid mixer is a fabulous present. It is expensive, but it lasts a really long time. You can get it in fun different colors, and people definitely who bake love the KitchenAid mixer. Another thing that you can never have too much of is mixing bowls, especially if they're in practical shapes and sizes and can stack together for storage. Mixing bowls make a great present. When I was doing some research, I came across these adjustable rolling pins. For somebody who is trying to do more precise baking, maybe they're making cakes with fondant icing or something like that, these adjustable rolling pins are perfect because you can make it the exact size and be really specific about it. Now, along the same lines of the rolling pin is these mats for rolling out usually pie dough or maybe cookie dough. And you can make them the exact size that you need. So definitely for like pie crust, a mat like this is really handy. Measuring spoons and measuring cups, perhaps they don't need them if they already have them, but you can find such cute ones that it's hard to resist buying measuring cups and measuring spoons for someone who loves to bake. Another fun present that you can give that you can get a lot of variations on is an apron. There's so many different types, so you can get, creative or go with something really fun or practical. That's definitely another great gift. So that's all of the baking gifts. Now let's move on to gifts for someone who likes to cook. Knives. You can never have too many knives, especially if they're in different shapes and sizes, and ones that you can sharpen are perfect. So if you can give them some really nice knives and perhaps a sharpener to go with it, you would definitely be giving them a good gift. The next one is spatulas. Honestly, if you are a cook or a baker, really, you can never have too many spatulas, especially if they're in different shapes and sizes, and heat proof. Ideally heat proof. It's so nice when you have a spatula that you can leave in the pan and not worry about it melting. The next one is oven mitts. Oven mitts often get destroyed with time or start getting stained, and so a new pair of oven mitts and pot holders is always a great present. Now, along those same lines is tea towels. I think it's especially nice if you can get tea towels for different seasons or different themes. It's nice to switch them up. You're always using tea towels, so having some different colors or things written on them is always a fun present to give to someone. The next is containers. Now, I don't mean big storage containers. I mean containers for keeping your pasta, for your brown sugar, for your rice. Having nice, clear, usually, containers to organize your pantry is always a really nice gift to get. Now, if you want a more expensive, big-ticket item, a Dutch oven is always a really nice item to own. Most people don't own it just because it's expensive to buy, but if you have a cook in your life, you want to buy them something expensive, a Dutch oven is the way to go. Now, along those same lines, owning stoneware can also be great. In trays or in loaf pans, all of those make great presents if you can get them the really nice, good quality stoneware, such as Pampered Chef. Another great gift is cutting boards. I feel like you can never have too many because it's nice to have ones that you use just for meat and some that you use for onions and some that you use for bread, etc. So having multiple cutting boards is nice, and after a while they need to be replaced. And on that same thought, charcuterie boards are also really popular right now, and getting a really nice, beautiful wood one is a perfect present, and perhaps, a knife that goes with it. You could even include some crackers, cheese, etc., and that would make a great gift for a creative cook. Now, if you want something that's a little more creative, you could get an oil infuser. There they can put something in it, let's say garlic or dill or something that they want to have in their oil, and for the creative cook, it's a perfect present. Some other big ticket items would be an Instapot. Some people really love them, some don't, so you kind of have to know the person well enough. But if it's a busy person who likes to make food quick, an Instapot is definitely a good option. An air fryer can also be perfect, especially for someone who's trying to eat a little healthier, but still likes to make those really delicious things. An air fryer is a really good idea. Another one is a mandolin slicer. So if the person you're buying for makes a lot of, say, like scalloped potatoes or eggplant parmesan, or even just likes to have veggies sliced up for, roasted veggies or something like that, a mandolin slicer is a really nice thing to own. One other maybe more creative gift that you could give would be to get potted herbs. So say basil or thyme. Sometimes they're harder to find in the winter months, but if you can find that, somebody would be definitely happy to have that. They can put it in their windowsill, and then they've got fresh herbs when they go to do their cooking. So the third category we could call the homesteader. It's the person who likes to preserve food or maybe wants to get into that kind of thing. That's definitely a whole other category of gifts. So I've made a list for that as well. Number one would be canning jars and a canner. Definitely people who have a big garden or wanting to get into more self-sufficient lifestyle or homesteading would be super happy with that as a gift. Is a yogurt maker. This is something that I have and really enjoy, and making your own yogurt is not super difficult, and something that someone who wants to be more self-sufficient or make healthier choices for food would definitely enjoy having a yogurt maker. Now, if this person has a big garden or tends to have a lot of produce on hand, a dehydrator can also be a great gift for them. So a fermenter and the things that go with fermenting. I know that I make sauerkraut, and having the right jars and lids and even something that takes the oxygen out can be really handy to speed up the process and make it easier to ferment things. Another one would be a sauce maker, so like something that you can either do, say, tomatoes through to make a tomato sauce, or that you can put apples through to make applesauce. Again, another great thing for somebody who's looking to be more self-sufficient. Another thing that I've really enjoyed myself is I have a ceramic compost bucket that I have on my counter, and so if you're giving a gift to someone who has maybe a garden and likes to compost